Here at Tormach, we want to get you making chips as quickly as possible. So here's the installation video for the 24R.
Before you begin the installation, it is required that you read the operator manual that came with your product for all the safety warnings and cautions, general site and space requirements, and the electrical requirements. The operator manual will also cover each step in full detail, and the most current versions should always be downloaded from tormach.com. You should also collect the tools listed in the manual for your installation.
We're going to go through each of the steps of the entire installation process, but if you get lost along the way, we have chapter links in the description below.
Once the 24R is safely on the ground, you will need a forklift or pallet jack to move the machine near the desired location. Disassemble the 24R crate and discard the wood panels. Remove and discard the plastic wrap from around the machine. Lift and move the machine.
You should note that there's two ways to take the 24R off the pallet. The first and recommended method is to use the forklift. The other method of installing the 24R requires a pallet jack and a series of blocks. To see that process, click on the link above. Make sure to determine what method is going to work best for you in your situation.
The machine is secured to the pallet with screws in the base of each foot. Remove the screws from the pallet with an 8mm wrench. Adjust the forks to the widest position on your forklift and then slide them under the 24R and raise the machine. Have an assistant remove the pallet from under the machine. Move the 24R to its desired location. Then, using a carpenter level it by raising or lowering each foot with a lower nut and a 22mm or adjustable wrench. Be sure to avoid the vacuum gaskets. Examine all 4 feet and verify that each foot touches the floor. Tighten the top jam nut with a 24mm wrench, locking the feet in their position. Install the stand end panel. On the front right panel of the machine, remove all 4 pre-installed screws using a 3mm hex wrench. Install the stand end panel onto the machine stand. Install the controller arm. Open the controller arm crate. Locate the machine arm mounting holes at the short end of the machine. Using a 6mm hex wrench, secure the square tube arm to the machine stand with 2 M8 socket head cap screws, washers, and lock washers. Verify that the white nylon washer is located on the bottom of the mounting pad. Put the monitor post into the square tube arm, making sure that the post's threaded holes are facing the cutouts in the square tubing. Then, tighten the cross bolt on the square tube with 2 16mm hex wrenches. Verify that the long portion of the monitor bracket is mounted towards the top. If it isn't, you may need to rotate it with a 21mm wrench. To make it easier to work on, snug the 3 joints on the monitor bracket with an 8mm hex wrench and a 16mm wrench. Insert the end plug into the square tube arm. Find the operator box drill template. Put the template onto the operator box and verify that the holes align. Tape the template to the keyboard tray. This indicates the location to mount the operator box. Drill the 4 holes through the template and into the keyboard tray with a number 5 drill bit. Remove and discard the template. Using a 4mm hex wrench, secure the keyboard table to the monitor bracket with 4 M5 socket head cap screws, washers, and lock washers. Find the operator box and mount it to the bottom of the keyboard table with the 4 M5 by 25mm screws and nuts. Route the loose end of the cable from the operator box down the monitor post, through the openings in the square tube arm, and towards the electrical cabinet. Connect the cable from the operator box to the emergency stop input port on the front right end of the electrical cabinet. Attach the wire tie mounts to the monitor post with the 4mm flathead machine screws and a Phillips head screwdriver. Install the monitor. The PathPilot controller mount allows you to install the PathPilot controller behind the monitor. Sandwich the PathPilot controller mount between the monitor and the VESA plate. Secure all 3 components with the 4 M4 socket head cap screws from the kit. Install the PathPilot controller. Put 2 standoffs into the PathPilot controller and tighten them by hand. Attach the PathPilot controller to its mount by sliding the standoffs through the keyhole slots. Verify that the controller is oriented so that the VGA port is facing away from the monitor. Attach the USB hub to the top of the PathPilot controller with double-sided tape. Connect the USB hubs to any open USB port. Connect all USB accessories to the USB hub. Connect the VGA cable to the PathPilot controller and the monitor. Route the loose ends of the cable assembly down the monitor post, through the square tube arm, and towards the electrical cabinet. Connect the cable assembly into one of the accessory power ports on the front right end of the electrical cabinet. Connect the PathPilot controller's power supply to the PathPilot controller. Connect the loose end of the power supply to one of the controller/monitor cables provided. Route the power cable down the monitor post, through the square tube arm, and towards the electrical cabinet. Connect the loose end into one of the accessory ports on the front right end of the electrical cabinet. Connect the Ethernet cable to the controller. Route the Ethernet cable down the monitor post, through the square arm tubing, and towards the electrical cabinet. Connect the Ethernet cable to the controller communications outlet. Cable management. Look through the machine manual for our recommendations on cable management. Or secure everything as you see fit, making sure to leave enough wire compliance for full machine arm articulation. Make the water chiller connections. Slide the water chiller into the machine stand opening. Find the two pre-installed water lines in the machine stand. Then route both towards the water chiller. Press the clear water line into the inlet port. Press the black water line into the outlet port. Find the water chiller alarm cable, then connect one end to the back of the water chiller. Connect the other end to the chiller alarm input port. Fill the water chiller with 2¼ gallons of distilled water. Find the water chiller's power cable, connecting one end to the rear of the water chiller and the other into a 115 volt AC outlet. Turn it on, examine the clear water line to confirm that water is flowing, and inspect the water chiller and its water lines for leaks. Verify the installation. Connect the machine's main power cable to the verified electrical service. Find the machine disconnect switch and then remove the hang tag. Turn the machine disconnect switch to on. Rotate the emergency stop button and then push the blue reset button to enable the machine. Follow the on-screen instructions to configure the PathPilot controller. When the configuration is complete, PathPilot will automatically launch. Verify that you are running at least version 2.4.0 from the lower right-hand corner. If the version is older, make sure to upgrade. On the Status tab, verify that the Machine OK light changes from yellow to green. Select Reset. Verify limit switch function. Locate the 3 limit switches and their indicator lights on the PathPilot Status tab. Hold a piece of steel, like a screwdriver or wrench, up to each limit switch. On the Status tab, the corresponding X limit, Y limit, and Z limit lights will come on. Select Reset. Verify Axis function. Press the page up on the keyboard, moving the Z axis up high enough to clear the shipping block, which should be removed and discarded. Use the keyboard's right and left arrow key to confirm X motion, up and down to confirm Y motion, and page up and page down to confirm Z motion. Once you have confirmed machine motion and the spindle is clear of any possible obstructions, select Ref Z, Ref X, and Ref Y. The machine will move to its reference position. Verify spindle function. You must confirm that the spindle correctly operates. If installed, remove the nut and the collet from the spindle. Make sure the chiller is on. If it is not, turn it on. And double check that you have water flow to the inlet port. In the RPM DRO field, type 10,000. Then select the Enter key. Select Forward. The spindle should rotate clockwise at 10,000 RPM. Repeat the procedure in 1,000 RPM intervals up to 24,000 RPMs. Select Stop. The spindle stops rotating.
Congratulations on installing and verifying your 24R. Now go ahead and start making stuff and make sure to tag us with #MadeWithTormach.